Hello everyone, welcome to our Saturday night D&D session where we follow the exploits of Team Soteria, also known as the Tribor branch of Acquisitions Incorporated. They're a little out of their normal stomping grounds, the Desert Valley and Tribor. They're currently in City of Splendors, Waterdeep, investigating some things there, namely one character's backstory, their birth parents, and they're also trying to secure some goods and some employees for their recently acquired food cart named the Clip Clop Food Stop, I believe.
Yes.
And they did set up some meetings with some guilds on that note. And then
Hold on, I can't hear you.
they also, well, one of your party members, the bard Indy, met his new Harper contact in Waterdeep, a very strict half-elf woman named Nessa Donave, who warned Indy that she is not like Two Strings. She expects him to complete his missions on time and fully. I think, but that was sort of a one-on-one with him. And I think after that, you guys went to bed, and you wake up in the next morning. If there's anything I missed, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just get right on into it.
Nat got a vision from Lathander.
Oh, I forgot. Yes. Nat went to the Spires in the morning. With the party.
I missed Spires?
You could always go back there. It's still there.
I met Evelyn.
Yes.
I don't want to meet Evelyn. This is good.
Nat met Evelyn Marthane and High Radiance Eos, who were praying, they were participating in midday prayers at the cathedral in the spires of the morning. And they had some advice for Nat. Nat prayed before the statue of Lathander there in the cathedral, and they received a vision. I think Nat tried to explain it to Rex, but was unable to do so. But basically, it said something about a storm, as Nat explained it. Something about a storm was coming, and then afterwards, but it'll pass. Then afterwards, there'll be false prophets, and they'll try to lead people astray. And Nat's supposed to take care of the false prophets, and then she'll be blessed for forever or something. Or sorry, they'll be blessed for forever or something.
Yep, that's about it.
I heard through the grapevine that the team tried to decide what we served in our food cart.
Oh, we figured it out.
They did.
Except I get to recall the vote.
Here's the thing, though. You can do that if you want. But
four
people voted for it.
Yes, but we have to, everyone else already does dessert. We can't do dessert.
I did warn them that there was going to be competition with Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut. But they went with bakery.
Did you?
Multiple times. I brought it up. The guildmaster was like, a lot of our bakers are going to Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut location, so I have to get someone right out of basically school who just graduated to get into your food cart.
That's what you meant. Okay.
I think we do something like soups.
Let's do some chowder.
But,
like a regional soup thing or grocery sandwich.
Have a super time at the S-Team soup suppository.
No.
Well,
I mean, it's
yes.
It's Ship Shop Food Stop. It sounds like a soup place to me.
Well, I did prepare bakery and fine drink NPCs and vintages.
I will argue, but I really like the fine drinks. Like, I kind of like the traveling alcohol cart.
But we can put that off so I can actually work on it.
Wait, guys, y'all, friends. What if we were just a traveling bar cart?
I like it.
The bar for bards.
No food at all?
Like appetizers.
The
Maybe.
bard.
Well, I specifically spent about an hour researching drinks and their pairings for desserts. So, oh, hello.
I hear his child.
Hi, Frankie.
Roll a d20.
Roll initiative for a small child.
And oh yes, you guys also passed by one more thing. We can do all that voting stuff when we get started. This is sort of still in the recap zone area. You guys also passed by an orphanage on your way to the House of Good Spirits. And the children seem to be quite taken with you. But an older resident of the orphanage warned the children that they weren't supposed to go past the end of the street. And so they were dejected, but they complied.
Cool.
I think that's it as far as recaps go. As far as RP goes, we'll get into that. Like I said, it's morning. Let's just say you guys came down from your room. You're now in the common room / tavern / restaurant portion, the first floor of the Yawning Portal. And we guys can take it away from here.
Fine.
Oh,
I would
dear
argue.
Lord.
What?
That was so loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
Something just bleeped into my ear. Somebody may be talking on the
I
on the roll
didn't hear
20.
anything.
Sorry.
Could have been me. Did I do something?
No.
No.
It sounded like what it sounds like when somebody makes a roll on the channel. It just was very, very loud. Ignore me.
Weird. No, I just thought something was wrong with the little one.
No.
She needs a code name, by the way. I really like the idea of drinks, though. Like
Yeah.
an alcoholic food cart.
I like it too.
And I'm not against, like, some pastries. Like a pastry, like alcohol food cart, like appetizer pastry kind of thing. Would that make you dessert people happy?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
What do you think about that, Nat? It is morning. I need to prepare spells.
I think you guys discovered after talking to the guild master of the Baker's Guild, which I have his name. He's a male dwarf. His name is Dakin Baranzar. And he informed you, based on the information you told him about his cart, that you can probably fit 3, maybe 4 people inside the cart comfortably. Any more than that, and they'll just be getting each other's way, and it'll be dangerous for them to be in there with the fires going and all the cooking that's to be done.
Okay.
Well, and on that note, Evelyn, I didn't have it last session, but I have the man, Dakin, the guild master for the Master Baker's Hall, did say that he was going to basically gather up a number of like freshly graduated students from the baking schools around the area, and they all specialize in a certain sort of item, a certain number of sweet. And he said there'll be a person who specializes in chocolates and candies, one person that specializes in cookies, another one that specializes in cakes, another one that specializes in pies, another one that specializes in tarts, crumbles, and strudels, and then lastly, a person who specializes in eclairs, donuts, and other similar pastries.
I think my question is, what does Gorilla sell, and what does the Yum Yum Hut sell?
The Yum Yum Hut sells almost exclusively cornerstones, but they do like wild varieties of them. So they get a
What would you
number of like.
classify a cornerstone?
I would say it's like a mini cake or a pastry.
And Gorilla does what? And Umbrella does cakes.
She
for
does
less
cakes,
toasted.
and she's a baking company. So she does everything. She does more than just cake. She does breads and basically anything that has dough in it, really.
So Grella doesn't do like chocolates or cookies?
Not really. Cakes, breads, sweet breads, cinnamon rolls. I don't know what else. I'm not a baker.
Let's be, instead of Dunkin' Donuts, let's be Dungeon Donuts. And just only sell donuts.
That's a good one.
And we'll just make them themed after monsters that we kill. So they can be like a goblin donut, like a skeleton donut.
Like that manga.
I don't know.
That's it.
There's like a manga where like they kill like monsters and they eat them.
Oh. I didn't mean donuts made of monsters.
Cax and I are sitting here talking about things on the Roll20. So I was thinking,
Sorry.
if we wanted to go the baked goods alcohol route, we would want to avoid what the Yum Yum Hut. This is Aveline sitting in the room, like sounding this out. The Yum Yum Hut does and what Grella does. So I'm trying to figure out what we could serve that fits like a cool, like savory sweet niche, but also go well with drinks, that kind of thing.
Dessert drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have 5 such types prepared.
Only 5?
They're broad types. I have
Okay.
a vintage, a brand, if you will, for each, but I have 5 types that pretty much pair with most of the stuff that that you got going on.
So do we want? Okay, here's a better question. Do we want stuff that can be eaten by hand? What about like oh god, like a scone? I feel like that's too Yum Yum Hut.
I like that idea.
Or I still like mini quiches and tarts.
Isn't quiche for breakfast?
And dinner.
It's not exactly a sweet, but it is like a bakey thing.
Tarts are kind of like a pie. Like hand pies. Oh my
Just
gosh,
make
we just
pie.
drinks?
I was thinking of recruiting one of Strix's baking company, whatever they're called, one of their members, but I didn't have time to look up their names.
I mean, it's not like we don't know one of them. Like IRL.
What?
Wait, do
What do
we?
you mean?
Kika. Shout out Council Kika.
What about her?
Shout out Council Kika is one of Strix's baking interns.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The name of the character is Deirdre. It's a Shatterkai warlock, I think.
Dang. That's interesting.
Well, it's up to you guys to decide what you want to sell. If you can't come to an accord, we can always postpone the discussion.
Hack said, wait, hold on. So I'm waiting and holding on. Meanwhile, while Elaine's trying to figure out what to sell the food cart. What's everyone else doing?
Caxier spent a long time. In fact, she has just come through the door to join up with you.
Macaroons.
She is looking very sleepy because, if you recall, she left to meet up with Vera to go to the Font of Knowledge to research some stuffs. But what exactly she was looking up, she did not deign to tell the party. So,
Hot diggity shit, there's a baller cookie.
she can't really speak right now, so we won't RP. Well, actually, that will be needed we'll have to RP the library scene to know which she knows. Because some checks will need to be made for her to discern and learn some things.
Oh, hey Bella. My dog is here.
Oh, it's a pupper.
But we can put that off as well, but just keep it in the back of your mind what you want to look for.
Evelyn wants to hear about Nat's Lathander temple visit. And said vision.
Okay. So I went there and I talked with the High Radiance and I met Evelyn. And I don't think she knew I knocked over her statue, so that's good. And then afterwards, I was praying and I got this crazy vision. And it talked about a storm that was going to come and it was going to be really bad. And let's see.
You did write down what
Yeah.
I think you wrote down.
Yeah,
what I
but
posted.
yeah, I don't think I can remember it word for word.
Bella, why are you staring at me like that?
Yeah. And then basically there's going to be a storm and it's going to pass. And then there's going to be a bunch of false prophets that say they're with Lathander and they're going to do a bunch of signs and miracles and that kind of thing. But they're not actually going to be for him. So they're going to be bad. And we got to take care of them.
Okay. I also want to know how your reception of the temple was.
Fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like, because you told me, this is Joe talking. You told me that Nat was kicked out of the temple. And so when you went back to said temple,
Yeah, I
thinking
was.
you were
There
still a
wasn't
member,
really.
how did that go?
Mhm. Fine.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean,
This is me just
to
trying to
be
wrap
Out of
fair,
there,
Nat
yeah.
didn't meet any people that kicked them out directly. They pretty much went straight to the cathedral and left. You don't think High Radiance Eos. This can be a religion check if you want it to be Nat or Abeline.
I don't, I'm just trying to understand what happened, is what's going
That's
on.
a 10. Oh wait, no, I get a +1 to that, so 12.
Oh, wait, I can use real dice. I forgot about that.
Yeah. The only time I ask you to use the virtual dice is in combat because it speeds things up, does automatic math, and everything like that. And also so I can see it, so I don't have to, keep all those numbers in my mind, in memory. So that's the only time I'll ask you to actually use roll 20 or D&D and Beyond or something like that.
But I have this official Shadow Council dice set.
And you can use it on all other rolls except combat just to expedite it, because it can be kind of a slop.
You would really like it, y'all, because it's got 3d6.
What? Why is 3d6
I was wrong.
good?
I have a +2, so that's a 13 on my religion check.
All right.
Nice.
A 13 is good enough. So you think you didn't pay attention
what
to
do
a
you mean?
lot of your studies at the spires of the morning, but you did get
Oh, my dog out. Hold on.
just living there for a while. You got a general sense of the hierarchy of it, and High Radiance Eos is sort of far removed from the political machinations of those below her. And so that's probably why she treated you, like she did. You didn't meet any of those responsible for kicking you out. They were sort of mid to high level in the hierarchy, so the equivalent of maybe like
I mean,
bishop.
Nat doesn't know that they were kicked out.
Yes, but I'm just saying out of character. You
Mhm.
the people that convinced you that you were on a mission from God, so to speak, would be equivalent of like a bishop or something in the Catholic Church or a cardinal.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So wait, which place do we need to go back to again? Was that the drink place?
Yes, well, there's two
All the
places you
places.
visited and you set up dates to sort of inspect what they got for you.
Well, one of them is
sampling.
coming to the Yawning Portal, right?
No, they were both taking place at their respective guild halls.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said that one of them was going to be sending people.
One did ask for your place of residence so that the Master Baker, Baker's Hall, did, because he did not know how long it would take for him to gather together 6 individuals from the various baking schools in order to have them, prepare their signature dishes for you. So he said he would send you a letter, or someone to inform you that he was ready. But the other one, it was just simply the House of Good Spirits just simply said to come back the next day at around the same time, and they would have an array of drinks for you to try.
Well, do we want to wait to do Indy's thing till we get that over with? I don't know how long inheritance takes to work out.
Well, Indy, do you want us to go with you?
He might be still taking his dog out.
Oh, my bad.
God, let the dog go out, y'all. It's important. So is Shimmy still talking through their sword?
Oh yeah. So let's go through that. So Rashemi, is he here with us? He is not. He's been talking to his sword, staring off blankly into space, doing Rashemi things, frightening small children that walk by.
And how's Rex doing?
Good. Rex is kind of just along for the ride on this one. I was very interested in the false prophets thing, but it didn't seem to be our librarian's relation. After we met one of the librarians,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know what
true.
we would call that guy. Maybe like
Unless
a
any of
convert?
the librarians are going to start saying this is what Lathander wants too, then yeah, no, that's.
I forgot to mention for those that were not present, you guys met some doomsayers
Yes.
while you were walking to the Yawning Portal. They seem more prevalent in the poorer districts, the poorer wards, the southern dock wards, but you did see some on your way from Ack Inc. HQ to the Yawning Portal. They were trying to convince the crowd. What was it exactly? Let me look. Basically, they were saying oh boy.
They were saying the end is coming. Join the librarians.
Basically, they said something along the lines of the end is nigh, storm is coming. You can pray to the gods, but the gods won't save you. The only ones who can save you are the Grey Ones. Put your trust in the Grey Ones and follow them.
Well, good thing you brought back the storm. I forgot
Sorry,
that they
I'm
were
back.
talking about that too. Oh, we're all going to be here. We should definitely do the inheritance thing.
And
Yes, that's the whole point. We're here.
How's that rock in your?
What rock?
Huh?
The transmuter stone in Rex's pocket?
Sending stone?
Mm-hmm.
He probably hasn't messed with it lately.
Oh, here it is. Sorry.
Yo, those cakes are so good.
What they said exactly was, don't put your trust in the gods. They can't save you from the calamity to come. Only knowledge can. Knowledge that the gods have chosen to keep from you. Put your faith instead in the Grey Ones. They will give you the knowledge you need to survive the coming storm. Variations on that, but that was what the one you met.
Well, if we find one, now that we know there's something actual real about this storm, we should ask him about it.
Yeah.
Or Rex should, because he seems to have it come in with us.
I mean, I'm gonna be one day, so might as well.
A librarian or a magician or a ridiculous wizard?
I was just trying to mess with you guys.
That's why I went through 3 things.
Okay.
I see how it is. It's not hard to kill a wizard.
Yeah. But so sorry to go back to what happened last week, but wasn't the false prophet thing for Nat's vision
Yes.
more like it was more like false prophets of specifically the Thander, right?
Well, yeah, but they're talking about a storm too.
No, I understand that. I just meant
Yeah, the false prophet bit was unclear. The voice, the Lathander's voice, did not specify for which religion, but it did say that false prophets
okay.
will appear, and did ask you to draw his people back to his side. So it might just be false prophets just for Lathander. It might be for other gods. Wasn't clear on that.
Oh, okay.
It's really just on the off chance they know anything more about this storm,
Sure.
Because the storm's going to happen, then the false prophets. So if they know about the storm, then they know.
But they were saying a storm is coming.
Yeah.
So they're not the false prophets, but they might be able to talk. Okay, I'm with you now. I was trying to figure out why we dismissed them.
You dismissed the doomsayers because you
crazy?
detected thoughts on one and found out
Yeah.
that they were fanatical.
No, I'm sorry. I meant why we dismissed the idea that they were the false prophets. That's all. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And it's because the storm hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah,
I
and the false prophets are going to be doing things in God's names, but they're not actually would be for them.
Gotcha.
Okay, Indy has not dealt with their inheritance yet, correct?
No.
I have not.
Okay, but you're a harper?
Yes.
That is
And
we don't
nobody
know
knows that.
No one knows that except I think Caxir
Alright.
knows that. Caxir is the
I
only
don't
one.
even know what a harper is.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Cax-
I'm just trying to get my brain on straight because it's been a long week and a half, too.
Yeah, it was brought up the first time you guys were in Waterdeep, but then never explored any further than that. Caxir's the only one outside of in the party who's not Indy, who knows that he is a Harper agent.
Yeah. Actually, wouldn't Rex know, or did we not
I
talk
don't
to
think
Rex
he saw
about that?
you. I don't think you talked to him about it, and he didn't see
I
you.
spied on one of you, and I think it was Cax's thing. I'm pretty sure Rex knows about Cax's stuff.
What?
Yeah,
Evan,
Rex
does not
spied-
know about Cax's stuff.
Rex spied on the deal with the devil to bring the mom
Yes,
back. Remember?
Rex knows about that. He just hasn't talked about it.
Did you get a look at the contract? I don't think you saw the contract itself, though. You just heard them talking.
Yeah, I just heard them talking and
Okay.
heard about her mom.
Okay.
Okay, let's play some D&D now.
Yep. Got all
Yeah,
that
let's go
through
prerequisite
that.
knowledge and backstory out of the way. All the information has been shared. Please, go forth.
So, Indy, you want to do your inheritance today?
Oh yeah. So while you were AFK, Rex
Today's
asked if you wanted everybody to come with.
yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to have you guys with me, because I mean, I don't know. It could be a trap of some kind. I don't know. It's
Like it's weird, right?
yeah.
It's totally weird. Did the letter that you got have the family name?
It did, right? It wasn't
Yes.
like a to all whom it may concern.
It was the crest on was one you didn't recognize, but inside it didn't mention the family name. It said how well I have the wording for this too, but essentially I'll find it maybe. Essentially it said that the patron, the head of the noble Waterdeep family, the Emmerichs, one Frederick Emmerich has passed away. As such, they're trying to get in contact with all the persons that were mentioned in his will, and that's why they sent this letter to you, Indy. Although they called you in it Aaron, and they said,
How is it spelled?
we asked Aaron to come to Waterdeep at your earliest convenience to be present for the reading of your father's will. They also mentioned that Aaron might be. I'm going to type it soon, but they said it. He is also living or uses the name Independence or Indy as well.
So,
Nope.
questions. Evelyn has 2 questions she poses.
Yes,
One.
fantasy rich names.
First question is, are they actually a family of Waterdeep, a noble family of Waterdeep? And the second question is, do we want to talk to the noble family that we do have a contact with to figure out and ask some questions about them before we go see them?
That sounds like a very good plan.
They are pretty close. I think you can give me a history check for noble. There are a lot of noble families in Waterdeep.
Sure.
I
Let's see if I could. I have not rolled higher than a 10 tonight, so
Rudy,
we
I
will
was
see
going to
how
argue
this
that Rex
goes.
would be the good one to do that because Rex has lived in Waterdeep his
Yeah.
entire
Someone
life.
who's lived in Waterdeep for a very long time and proficient in history, maybe you might want to make this check. It will be easier for you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm proficient in history, but I'm sure yours is higher.
Rex doesn't care about people though.
I mean, you care about books, though. You would have read a lot of books while in the library.
I'll roll it. Jesus. Let's
Yes.
go. Okay,
You
that's
have
an
heard
11
of the name
plus.
of the Emmerichs. You were reading through like a genealogy of
Well,
so
didn't mean to do that, but
you've been kind of a nomad though. So while in Indy, Waterdeep, like, when you're tavern crawling, playing for tips and stuff and meals, you've heard the name Emmerichs brought up in the context of with other nobles. So at the very least, you know that they are fancy pants, hoity-toity individuals. Rex would know that they are in fact a noble family. There was like genealogies and books about the noble families and their histories at the Font of Knowledge, and he got bored one day and decided to just read them, and he read about the Emmerichs. They pertinent knowledge. He remembers that he read that they were doing not so well financially. About and here is where I'm looking something up. They were doing not so well about 19 to 20 years ago financially. They were in dire straits, but then very, very suddenly their fortunes seemed to have reversed. But there was no explanation written in the book.
When they sold Indy.
I love that Indy goes,
Wait, was this around?
This random family says, I'm inherited, but I don't believe they're real.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay, so yeah, I would ask if you want to go talk to Lady Rajnar because they might know something about the family.
Yeah, that's a perfect idea.
Oh, sorry. They would Rex. You would also have known they are a human family. Most noble families in Waterdeep are human.
Yep, I'll relay all that.
Cool. So
you want to with you?
Yeah, yep. Please. I don't want to have to deal with these people who apparently are my family, which brings up some other questions about why I haven't ever known them before. Like, what's going on there? Why did they not raise me? Yeah, can you guys come with me?
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
Just nope on out of there. Scott Pilgrim jump out the window.
Sorry, I had to.
Evelyn just walks out the door and never comes back.
Yep, that's kind of right.
It's like,
Did the,
I'm fed up with your bullshit. No. You and your
Stupid party.
bullshit family.
The note you got, did that include an address?
It did.
Okay.
1-800
It's
Pits
the
of
one.
Hell.
It's marked on the map there. It's at something Corners Nightstone Street. I gotta zoom in to see the fount. This is a very Rightstone Street. Corner of Mendever and Rightstone Street. It's on the map. It's next to Rajnar Villa in the Sea Ward of Waterdeep.
Huh.
Well, let's go then.
Yeah. So what
Go.
street did you say it was?
Wait, where do you want to go?
I'm pinging it. That's the Emmerich
Do you want to
Estate.
go?
Rajnar Village
I-
is on Copper Street and Thunderstaff Way, the intersection there, and that is the
Oh,
key.
Indy,
do you
want to
mind-
go talk
do
to
you
these
mind-
people immediately, or do you want to go talk to the Rajnars?
Let's go talk to the Rajnars to try and find out about them.
And this is
Okay.
the canon.
Lead the way.
The canon location of the Rajnar Villa. I looked it up. So.
Do you mind pinging it on the
Uh-huh.
map?
It's right there.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I could send.
Yes, you could. You are familiar with Esvela, but 24 words might not be enough to convey everything that she may know about the Emmerichs, if anything.
You're not looking at the thing. I understood what Hannah was saying.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you could also send to let her know you're coming.
It's like, I don't need 24 minutes of that. Ah!
Clack, 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 clack.
Ah! No, none of that.
Clickety clackety. Let her speak.
Nice.
I have no idea why the keyboard was that bad. Sorry.
No
You're
worries.
actually
my
very
ears.
loud, so I'm going to turn you down a bit.
Yeah, that's surprising.
You may talk.
Yes, we're just saying it might be worth it to let her know that we're coming, and then just kind of be like, because Indy and I can speak to her without, like, in a crowded space without people knowing what we're talking about if need be.
Yeah. Rogues, man.
Where's that damn tweet? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But oh, okay.
Are you sick?
Me?
Yes, you.
I mean, not really. A little bit, but
You're sick.
Yeah.
It's your voice. I could tell.
Oh, I'm trying to talk a little quiet.
Doesn't
I also
change
does
the
it.
tone of your voice.
Also, yeah.
That's can we please play D&D?
I am. I was just like, you eat honey.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a 3rd level spell, and I could totally do that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
I'm just
you.
telling you it's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, is there a specific wording you want to attach to that, or you just want to let her know that you're coming over?
It would be like, in town for now, stopping by to see you, have something sensitive to discuss.
Okay. So you get back a sort of like a and whoever is typing, you could do
Yeah,
push to
it's
talk.
extremely loud.
It would be
Yeah,
great.
sorry, hold on.
It's not like the last time she spoke to you, but it was more informal. This is a more very formal sort of like the accent is one that that nobles would take when speaking to others. And it says, it would be my pleasure. Something like, well, welcome back to the City of Splendors. I don't know if this is going to be 24 on account, but she says, it would be my pleasure to host you at my family's villa. Unfortunately, I will be busy for, but I can fit you in the day in about an hour's time.
Okay. Thank you.
I love that you just said thank you, but that was in my head. That's just Indy just saying thank you out loud, like you could hear inside my head. It's funny. Okay, she's super busy. She could talk to us in about an hour. She'll fit us in.
How far away is this place? Like, should we start heading over or?
We should start heading over.
Okay. go.
Travel times.
Same.
It would take you about an hour to get there. So, I think. We'll see.
Perfect.
A little more than an hour, but we'll say we'll simplify and say it's an hour.
Okay. Cool. Bakery.
We have to get to the Rajnar estate first.
Yeah, we're not worrying about the food cart.
How about we go to the bakery, but just to like get some food?
If it takes
Is
us an
it
hour
on
to
the
walk
way?
there,
Yeah.
So the guild hall
We can-
itself is probably not a place you would go to buy baked goods, but there are a number of other bakeries along the way.
Yes.
she
I'm
said she
certain.
would have a pleasure to host us.
Oh, yep. That's true. We will eat there.
She is generously fitting us in. We should probably be prompt.
Yes. Let's go.
All right,
We go there.
All right. Unless there's nothing you want to do, you make along the way you do make your take the obvious routes there, and you make it in good time, and you get there just as just before an hour's time, about 5 minutes early.
Nice.
And as usual, there's these.
Finally, I can live my greatest fantasy, being at a place on time.
And in
I thought that would be funny.
there was a wry smile from the corner of my mouth, but I didn't vocalize it.
I don't understand why that's funny.
If he's always late, it's his.
Is Independence always late?
I think the player
Me.
is always late. Anyway.
Hey, Ron.
Shamy's here.
Hello,
Rashemi! We're going to the Rajnar.
Yeah, we will RP once Cax and Hannah talk. I don't want to derail like indie stuff too much, but I do want to get some stuff that should have happened a couple episodes ago with Cax here and Rashemi's character sort of done, so to speak, so that information can be out there.
Cool.
Well, we are walking for an hour.
Yeah. But I don't know if everyone can talk yet.
Time for RP.
I don't know if everyone can talk yet. So, if Caxir can talk, that's great. If Rashemi can talk, it's also great.
Looks like Rashemi can.
On and off.
Okay.
I almost got a TPK, but I'm here.
Hey.
Oh.
I'm sorry, or I'm sorry.
No, I really thought I was gonna knock everyone out, but the
I'm
paladin managed to crit at the last second. It was
Oh, you're
very
DMing.
epic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was DMing.
That's why I was trying to figure out which version of I'm sorry
Yeah.
it was.
It
Like,
was a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit.
Congratulations.
But I'm here now.
All right. So,
That's exciting. We're glad.
Rashemi, I believe I don't know if let's see if I might have messaged you this. Yeah. So basically, when Vera and Vera met, when you were forced to come back to the party for the teleportation circle to Waterdeep, and your sword Vera described Vera to you, and I'm paraphrasing here. I wrote down somewhere, but
Yes, I remember the message you sent.
yeah, but she basically described her as radiant like a bright beacon on a hill, and that she reminds her of an Othlor. And there's some other stuff that happened, but
Yep.
well, she did say, you know, Koro, how can you cheat on me when, you know, with, I mean, you already have me, and you want another Vera in your life. I see how it is. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Rashemi would just bumble his way through that conversation, I'm sure. Trying to be like, well, it's not exactly the same. It is spelled different.
And Vera, on her part, did take great interest in your sword when you finally did, you know, approach the party. And she asked you if she could, like, you know, touch the blade and stuff, and she was looking at the runes inscribed in and stuff like that.
Oh, happy
Yeah,
Valentine's Day.
He would probably want to ask her about, like, if anyone, he would actually ask her about what happened. He would tell her, like, basically a childhood friend of mine died and entered the sword. Like, this is stuff he never understood, and he would just be like, is there any possible way to, like, give her a form again, or like reverse what happened?
And at that, she looks at you and is like, so you're telling me there's a person in your sword?
And I'll hand the sword to her.
All right, so she holds it, and you see her, like, staring at the sword, like, concentrating really hard. And there's, like, a surprise on her face, and then she's like, and then it looks like she is having a conversation based on her facial tones with your sword. And then at the very end, she sort of nods, and then hands the sword back to you.
I, for one, would like to hear that conversation out loud.
Yes.
Well, it was
Please
mentally, but what it would be.
You have to talk to yourself for
I would
10
have
minutes.
to talk to
Come on, let's
myself.
go.
Yeah.
So this is all advocated knowledge, but basically, it starts with Vera saying, like inquisitively, like, hello, is there a person in there? And then Vera saying, yes, I'm in here. I take it you are Koro's recent infatuation. And there's a blush from Vera at that point. And then she said, well, I don't know about that. I am lucky to call him a friend, though. And then Vera talks about, or asks her to basically, you know, how she came to be in the sword exactly. And it's a lot of arcane and technical sort of stuff. And then Vera asks her something along the lines of, well, Koro mentioned getting my help and getting you out. Is that something you want to do? And to that, Vera said, eventually, but not right now. I want to, in this form, I'm more helpful to Koro. And if I leave the sword, it will lose much of its power. And then she said, but that doesn't mean I don't know how to exactly reverse this process because my knowledge of it is incomplete, and I can't really, exactly research while I'm stuck in here. So if you want to look into that, I would appreciate it. And then Varys said, as soon as I'm done with this scroll and librarian stuff, I will definitely do that.
Cora's thinking, or Rashemi's thinking, God, I hope they aren't saying anything embarrassing.
And that was, of course, that was all silent, so none of you heard that. But that was between Vera and Vera.
I just need to know if the sword is jealous of Vera. Vice versa.
Not really. So the
I
tone
think
Vera
that
would
was-
take when speaking to Vera is a respectful one because she mentioned her being like an Othlar, which backstory knowledge
What about the sword talking to Vera?
The sword died for our sins.
It's basically like two super smart people. Like
talking like two scholars talking about like
Man,
rocket science or something. But Vera,
I
the
just
sword
want to know
will
if the sword was jealous.
the sword will talk. She's teasing Koro, but it's more like as a friend, like a female friend will tease someone else, like a male friend. So it's more like that, like more platonic.
Yeah, like
than
like
romantic.
she knows that he's squirming because of this, so she's just sort of.
Yeah, she knows how to press his buttons and tease him,
I'm
so
pleased.
she's doing it. But Vera is referring to Vera in like how you would speak to an elder, a respected elder.
Honorific.
Yeah, a lot of honorifics and stuff like that. Because Othlars, for those that don't know, and this is how to quick knowledge again, is like an elder leader of the Rashemi people. And they're very acclaimed spell casters, very powerful, older women.
So, what did she say?
And then Varys says, well, you know how sometimes we girls like to keep our secrets?
No, I don't understand that at all.
And then
Aelin's giggling.
she sighs at that, and says, it's just a polite way of saying that I'm not going to tell you, Koro.
I see. Very well. I will keep to myself then. He's like sweating, thinking about whatever happened. Oh God.
And then, so that's like, a character moment that happened from Rashemi. Caxier, can you talk now?
Yep.
Okay. So when the party was doing all their set meetings with the guild masters and stuff like that, you actually went to the Font of Knowledge to do some research on certain topics. And since it sort of happened off camera, I had Vera. Usually I would have Rex go with you, but he was doing other things, and so it could take place at the same time. I had Vera go with you instead. And so you went to the Font of Knowledge, where their library is the most extensive on the Sword Coast. And so you went in there to research. You had to go into the sort of restricted area. If you recall, that's where the woman Scala was and her cat Quill. And Vera showed her some of her credentials, and they let you through. But you were shadowed by a lowercase / non-grey robe / non-evil librarian, just to ensure that you guys were taking proper care of the books, and you put them back where they belong, and you didn't crease or grease the pages, and you didn't try to take a book with you out, that sort of thing. So what would you like to look for?
Cool.
Shipwrecks. Like if there's a shipwreck logging past 5 or 6 years, specifically about storms or attacks, as well as any like 9 level of hell's research you can do.
All right. Give me a investigation check. And you can be aided by Vera, so you can have advantage with this. However, so you just said you want to learn about the layers of hell.
Investigation?
Okay, yes.
Wait, what did you say?
You said you wanted to learn about the layers of hell, right? And ships that have sunk. Okay.
Yeah. What was it supposed to use?
It was an investigation. You do have advantage because Vera is helping you look for these books.
16. Wasn't
A 16. Okay. So you find a number of books here. Make a guidance roll too. A D4. Because Vera will give you that as well. Alright. Ooh, so you get a lot of stuff, but you don't get everything. Okay.
Oh.
So for your ship business, you find a sort of list of merchant vessels and sort of contracted fleets, and it's actually higher than DC 20. It's very, very difficult. The last piece, like I said, you got a lot, but not everything. The last piece of knowledge is very difficult to roll, so it's higher than a 20. You got so you found like a list of this that the Navy keeps, or the water. There's a guild that's like I forgot what it's called. It's like the shipwrights and stuff. I think it's Waterfolk or something. Anyway, you found a list that they
The
carry.
Yacht Club.
Mariners?
And
Mariners Guild?
they sort of keep a list of ships that have built and that have been are missing or confirmed sunk. And there's one under missing. It says Star of Kiam. Correct me if I'm mispronouncing that, but I believe that's correct.
No, that's correct.
Star of Kiam. It's been missing. And it says, and it has the date, the correct date there. Or rather, when they were supposed to return to port, they did not. And so it says missing on that date. And then it says, crew suspected, all crew expected to be deceased. Lost at sea.
Okay.
Cool.
As far as the Archduke / Hell investigation goes, you do find a very old and black and book with like burnt pages, and the librarian urges you caution when you find the spine of this book, and as you pull it down, and Vera asks you, what do you plan on doing with that one?
Death.
I don't know what she say. Just making sure I know what not to do.
Summoning Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay. And you see it's made out of like the cover is made of like cracked and old, so it's almost black leather and like stitched together. And you open it up, and it holds such knowledge. But the things you do see is you do see mention of hell and descriptions of it, and it specifies layers of hell. There are 9 layers of hell, and it lists them. And I forgot them, so I'm not going to go through all of them. But it does also mention, you look up the sort of the titles that the fellow tiefling who gave you the mission mentioned. And so you see wording like Princess of Hell and the Dark Prodigy, and those are titles that relate to Glazia, an Archduke of Hell, and she holds court over the 6th layer of hell that's called Malbolg.
That's a weird name.
And I think I pronounced that
6th layer?
correctly.
Malbourget.
And
6th
also Malbolg.
Okay.
And it also mentions that she is Asmodeus' daughter.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Was that a fine reference?
Of course it was. You know me.
Okay.
And
What her titles were Princess of Hell and what else?
and the Dark Prodigy.
Okay.
And those are the words that that I forgot her name, but it was like I'll have to look it up. But the tiefling who tasked you with the mission to kill Abraxas used those terms when describing this individual.
Yeah, I lost all of those notes.
I have them somewhere, but I have so many handouts it'll take me a hot minute to find them.
It's fine.
And then you also
For D&D Beyond, it's never been easier.
for character stuff sheets, yes, but not for
Not for DM stuff. It's
and so you also find out you find a mention of how devils like to entice mortals with pacts and promises and things like that. And it says to refer to a different book to uncover that knowledge.
and I didn't find that.
You
or...
did find the second book, so you put this one back and you reach for another one. This one, there's even greater alarm from the librarian. It's more like a choked
Librarian? What?
lowercase non-evil non-gray. Like a choked gasp almost. Vera also has a shocked look on her face as you.
Wait. Question. Hold on. Question before. Hold on. Let me check something. Can I? Oh, I can't use like. No. Okay. Never mind. I wanted to see if I could use one of my spells to like mask what the book looked like. Whatever.
And Vera says, Taxier, is there anything you want to tell me or your team, perhaps?
My team is already familiar with my actions. I am looking up something that may be related to family history.
I see. Well, if you're able, and she stresses that word, to talk to me about whatever is plaguing you, I'll always be willing to listen.
Just like gives her thumbs up and goes back to reading.
All right. Inside the book, you discover a bunch of things about devils and the pacts they like to form with mortals. Specifically, you find entries about what you believe the type of pact you entered with Glazia.
Okay.
I keep forgetting you actually entered into a pact with the devil.
It's
She's demon mob, okay?
There are two terms to describe the pact you enter with Glazia. The first is a Faustian pact, which generally refers to whenever the mortal uses their blood for the signature, and also when they did not receive a copy for it.
Yikes.
It does.
Oh
no.
Oh, whoops! I forgot about that.
Good job.
And then the second term to describe your pact type is called a pact insidious, and it is generally an agreement between a devil and a mortal to exchange services. And what that means is generally you are not in danger of losing your soul with this agreement you made with this devil.
Okay. Do I think that's what Abraxas was using? Whatever?
No, this is just different because Abraxas owed his soul to Glazia, but he tried to circumvent it.
Okay.
And you also note that the other, I forgot the other type of pacts, but it's the one, I forgot the term for it, I can look it up. But basically, their type of pact means you exchange your service, your soul, for something immediate, like wealth, or power, or prestige, or something like that. And upon a specified date, usually, your soul, or usually it's death, or your soul will be claimed by the devil that you made the pact with. So those are the soul trading pacts are cut and dry, very simple. The insidious ones are more varied, more wordy. They're extremely litigious and full of like lawyer speak and stuff like that. And so while you think you didn't miss anything over reading when you had a chance to read the contract, you're not sure because you don't possess a copy.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Good job.
Have a copy.
Good
Well, have a
job
choice.
there. Congratulations. You screwed yourself over.
At least I haven't died yet.
That's true. I did die.
And so it does mention. Give me a perception check. This is not aided by verify. She's not reading with you.
22.
All right. You do see this in the entry. It wasn't exactly pertaining to the type of the pact that you were looking for, but is useful knowledge in case you want further dealings with devils. It does mention under Faustian pacts that you can request a copy of the contract that you have made with the devil, but you have to insist upon it and you have to mention it because the devil will never bring it up.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can ask Devil Mom for paperwork if I want to.
It's too late now. You already signed. They're not. But before you sign, you can ask.
Okay.
Oh, so you can't even get the copy now. You just you don't know the terms.
Thank goodness you're a secretarian and not a document.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can I try to remember what was on it? Can I make an intelligence check or something? I want to see if I can remember what was on it.
You can try to remember vague details, but it's been so long ago, and you don't have an encyclopedic memory, and you didn't write anything down.
I wanted to take that feat, but you convinced me not to, so that's not my fault.
Hey, I didn't convince you to do anything. I merely provided suggestions. I said it'd be good for Arcane Trickster or Rogue because you can do a lot of stuff with it.
No, you were saying since Tim already had it, since Rex already had it, that it was pointless.
No, Tim has Rex has an observant, right? He doesn't have
observant, right?
He doesn't have the memory, the one that Caleb has from ZR.
I always forget about feats. Is that something I could have taken, or is it like a stat increase versus a feat?
You have to get every time you get an ASI, you can swap it out for a feat. So it's you generally at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th levels, I believe. Unless you're a human or a rogue or a fighter, then you get more.
Human or a what?
Humans get a feat to start with, and rogues and fighters.
Only very humans do.
Well, I have yet to meet anyone. I have yet to meet anyone who does a standard human other than variant.
Also, fighters get
rogues and fighters get more ASIs than normal people.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I didn't think rogues did, but
so they have more opportunities to get feats.
Really?
Yes. The feat rule, raw, unless I'm wrong, if feats are in your game, it's anytime you get an ASI, you can swap out the ASI for a feat.
Or whenever the DM decides that you get a feat, because the DMs can just give you a feat.
Yes, that's also true. I've played in some games.
I may start doing that soon because I've sort of got my stats pretty much the way I want to.
Yeah, 8th level.
Besides maybe Dex.
God, it's been so long increasing my charisma. I'll never get any feats.
8th level is generally the time.
Look, let's play D&D, and then we can table talk feats and stuff because I have some ideas.
So you do not recall anything from your contract other than the most vague and basic of terms. Pretty much that you're supposed to kill this tiefling.
I remember what it was.
You're supposed to kill this tiefling in exchange for your mom's life. You don't remember the tiefling's name, but you do remember you went down into a dark and scary place to kill him.
I hate you.
You signed a
Don't hate
contract.
me. You rolled a nat 1, not me.
You are entirely to blame for this.
Yes, you can only blame
decided to deal
yourself.
with the devil.
Wait.
If you were put in my position, tell me you wouldn't have done it. Tell me you wouldn't have done it.
You signed a contract that you have no copy of and don't remember to
And
kill
you-
somebody, to murder somebody, and you don't know who you're supposed to
Okay.
murder.
No,
To be
you already
fair-
did kill the person. Your mom is
Oh, I already
revived.
did this. I already killed
Yes,
the guy.
your mom is revived, meaning you have fulfilled, as far as you know, you have fulfilled your end of the contract because your
Oh,
mom
you
is
already
now
did.
As
here.
far as
alive.
you know, you have fulfilled your
I
contract.
would like to
as far
insight
as
check the
you
DM.
know.
Well, like I said, she doesn't remember anything about the contract. She got that 1. So as far as she remembers, she fulfilled her
I
end.
hate you.
Yikes.
You're so stupid.
What
I
did
rolled a
do?
27 insight check. That bullshit from Nate.
I don't know what my DC would be. It would be higher
I
than
rolled a
that.
natural 1.
I
Oh
rolled
my
a 19
God.
on my dice.
I
But I have a
rolled
plus 8 insight,
one
so you know.
You want to know how to
inside.
get the DM to kill your character? Rolling checks against the DM.
Because I mean, technically, the DM.
I mean,
I got a 5. That tracks
kidding.
for tonight.
I know you were kidding, but yeah. As far as
I just figured you'd be amused by it.
I was amused, there was a chuckle. As far as you know, everything appears, on the up and up, tip-top shape. Everything, seems right with the world. Your mom's alive. You're not in danger of losing
but
your
as far as she
soul.
remembers, she was supposed to buy a rabbit, and that was the contract. She didn't know anything about it.
But you do see notes in there. It does say something along the lines of, in this book on PAX, it says, whenever possible, you should try to abstain from signing pacts or deals with devils, because no matter how good you think what you're gonna get out of the deal is, the devil will always benefit more than you.
Yeah.
This was a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. Okay, to be fair, I didn't want my mom permanently back, but she ended up permanently back, so it's not
Yes,
entirely
You wanted to kill your
On
mom
that
again?
point, also, I forgot.
No, I
Thanks
just
for
wanted to
reminding
talk
me.
to her.
Lydia mentioned to you before you left that she was very concerned about your mother, Taxier,
Yeah.
because she's been training with her for a while now and noticed some
She's
peculiarities about her.
rage or something.
Some peculiarities about her physical condition. Namely, she doesn't get tired. She doesn't need to breathe or eat or sleep or sweat. And she seems consumed by a desire for revenge on the people who
Have
killed
you seen the
her.
show The Walking Dead?
And she seems consumed by a desire for revenge on the people who sunk her ship and killed her crew.
So like me, after everyone died.
and she's mentioned to Lydia that she's preparing, and she's gathering some old friends together to finish things.
I talked to her, and if she okay, whatever. Fine.
You have not talked to her. You have refused to talk to her.
No, I asked her if. Okay, never mind. I haven't refused to talk to her. I just haven't been on voice.
You just, whenever she's in the room, you just, turn away from her or walk away.
No.
Don't acknowledge her.
No.
To be fair, you keep putting Caxier on the spot to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to choose whether I want to or not. That's the main reason that I've been, because I haven't really gotten to think about it completely.
Yeah, give Cax the option to speak, not necessarily.
Well, she has been present at Clinks and Drinks for a long time. You have not spoken to her about anything other than, I'm glad you're back, as far as I recall.
Quick question. Could I, seeing that Asmodeus' name was mentioned, would I know stuff about him, or would I have to look for stuff about him as well?
The information on him is very vague, even more so. This isn't the first book you read. You would have probably done some follow-up and gone along with the DC check that you did for that. You know that he's sort of the de facto, the leader of Hell. He rules the 9th layer. and all the devils have a strict hierarchy, and he is at the top. All the other devils answer to him in some form or fashion.
Cool.
Okay. And then, sorry, one last question, I promise. Would she be familiar with how different bloodlines are created, do you think?
Can you say that one more time?
Would she be familiar with how different bloodlines are created? Like, would she know, like,
Yes, there are
why?
some
Okay.
ways. Give me another. Well, you know how you were. You were born.
Yeah, but well, yeah, I know I was born that my mother was tiefling as well, obviously. But do I know, like,
Do you know about the birds and the
like,
bees?
what makes what?
Yeah,
What
you can
makes
make another.
makes tieflings?
Let's do the same investigation check. So you find a book on tieflings as well.
Okay.
This is more, after you look up all this stuff about devils and packs, the librarian Vera breathe a sigh of relief when you go to sort of more. Oh, she's only researching normal stuff. Only half devils. Okay. And so you look at this book on tieflings, and there are a number of ways for tieflings to be made or born. The most normal way is your parent, one or both of your parents is a tiefling. And the second way is to be cursed or enter into a deal with the devil.
Okay.
And that being being a tiefling in those sense sort of marks you as that devil's property, so to speak, or that you have been cursed.
And then, are there any devils in particular that are more likely to create pacts with mortals than sense?
You do
Or
know that
is
is
just like
very
everyone's bad?
what you've seen in that book on pacts is very rare for the archdukes themselves to engage in pacts with.
Jeez.
God, I'm sorry.
It is very rare for archdukes themselves to engage with pacts to mortals, because how it works in hell, and you probably would have read this in the book too, is each devil has a quota that they have to meet, and they pass up some of that quota to the devil above them, who pass up some of the souls that they're supposed to get to the devil above them, and so on until it reaches to Asmodeus. So it's sort of like a pyramid scheme. So where Asmodeus is at the top, and so because archdukes are getting so much of the quota from all their underlings, they very rarely need to engage in pacts at all. So it is very rare for them to do so.
But PAX is so fun.
Yep.
Thank you.
There we go. There it is.
PAX?
Just throwing out word jails all night long.
No, you said
No.
PAX. We just talked about how we love it.
Yeah. It's a good convention.
T-minus like less than 2 weeks.
And
cries not being able to go.
That is all you learned from your endeavors at the library.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
Now you guys were back to. This has all occurred in a flashback along your way to the Rajnar Villa. And you guys have now reached the gates of the Rajnar Villa, and of course there's the guards there who note your arrival and open the gates for you, and they mention that Lady Esfela Rajnar is expecting you in the reception area.
Should she be expecting us?
Yeah, we sent the ascendant.
Okay. It's just been.
I use a 3rd level spell.
Rex would know that. Tim is just dumb.
Yeah.
You're not dumb. You're
So am I.
preoccupied.
Compared to Rex, Tim is dumb.
And then a butler guides you along the way. And you pass by, of course, the Rajnars are very rich, and so you pass by, a lot of well-decorated rooms. You're walking on nice, soft, plush carpets, fine, dark wooden floors, and you see, works of art and stuff like that. But eventually you come to this room that looks like there's a very long sort of table in it with a lot of chairs set up around it. There's some also smaller tables and chairs and couches set up around there, and a plethora of like appetizers and drinks and stuff like that have been laid out for you. And also sitting there sipping on what some of you recognize who've lived long enough in Waterdeep and are of a drinking age. You would recognize it as Czar, which is a popular Waterdeep drink. It is sparkling white wine fortified with an almond liqueur.
We should sell that.
And the lady sipping on it is, of course, Esvela. And she sets down her drink and walks forward to greet you and says, "My friends!" And she does not hug you, rather she curtsies and says, "It is a pleasure meeting you all again on this fine day. I understand you have some business with me."
So
Yes. Well, because I messaged
Yeah.
her, I'll be like, yes, Independence, and I will use your full name. Recently got a
that's right.
letter, and he just wanted to talk to you about the letter, because it involves a noble family in Waterdeep, and since you're noble, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we mentioned that there's a glint in her eye of that maybe former mischievous young woman, and she says, "Oh, do tell. Rumors and gossip are all the rage among nobles."
So apparently my people who raised me are not my actual family. My actual family, the people, my biological family, are nobles here in Waterdeep. I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten their name.
It's Emmerich's.
What's the name of it? Emmerich's.
She gasps and puts a gloved mouth over her hand.
Gloved
Yes.
hand over her mouth?
A gloved hand over her mouth, yes, sorry.
So, are they good people?
And then at that, she sort of thinks for a moment, cocks her head and says, what is your definition of good?
That does not give me a lot of confidence.
I mean,
Did they make money on
most
slavery?
nobles don't reach their noble status through always lawful means.
Good means.
Or so-called
that's relatable.
morally upright means.
Yeah, so no.
It's hard to say. They are, while I have frequented
Do they try and do good things with their wealth now?
While I have frequented their estate many times in the late hours of the day, recently I have not had much opportunity to do so, and the head of, or should I say former head of the house of, that's right, that must be why you're in town then. I heard he passed away.
Yup. That's my dad, apparently.
Oh, it all makes sense now. You must have been mentioned in his will, I bet.
Nailed it in one.
Evelyn will give her a look, be like, "We would appreciate your discretion."
Yes,
Of
please.
course. I'm busy with learning about my family and what's expected of me now that I'm, the heir apparent, and so I don't really have an opportunity to converse with my fellow nobles as much as I would like to. She rolls her eyes when she says that.
Well, I'm a noble now,
But
apparently.
I
so
will be sure to
congrats.
not bring it up if ever I get an opportunity to converse with them again. But she sort of is thinking for me. She says, Lord Frederick, often I may have opportunities to visit the Emmerich estate when Lord Frederick was away at night. He left the estate often to go somewhere unknown to me in Waterdeep.
Sounds sketchy.
It is quite unusual for a man of Lord Emmerich's status to walk the streets alone at night, even in the Sea Ward, where it is very well patrolled by the city guard. And I hear there are dastardly individuals that will take advantage of the nobles, like the Black Viper. So it is very
horrible.
Yes.
Truly, indeed, it's a scourge upon the area.
Yes, and a mastermind that no one's been able to catch. It's truly, what a horrid individual.
I know. I mean, man,
But
could you
also
imagine?
quite dashing, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
And then she says, but lately his late night ventures have ceased. Or
Because he died.
Well, before his untimely death. I will note that I have not heard any rumors of him being ill before he passed.
Do you think it could be foul play?
There's also a possibility, however, it could be more pedestrian. It could be a heart attack or a stroke or something along those lines. But I wouldn't
How
put
old
it
was he?
out of the realm of possibility. Like I said,
Yeah,
you don't become a noble with entirely morally upright decisions.
You do not.
And she says if I recall, he was around late 50s, early 60s.
Okay. How do you have me then? Dang. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know about him and telling me my family isn't really the worst.
She says, well, I don't have a ranking of the noble families of Waterdeep in my head, but if you are correct in saying that they are not the worst among the worst of the Waterdavian noble families.
Cool.
All along the time she's talking to you, she's making subtle gestures with her eyes and her lips, and like the pattern of her blinks and how she's moving her fingers and her hands, be tapping her her feet, and her body language. She is communicating to the rogues in the party, and basically it is pretty much a huge eye roll from her about how she's acting out loud. She's basically apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, but I have to act like this. People are watching, and it's expected of me now. And I'm trying to turn my family around for the better. And then she says,
Do not worry.
Your family isn't all that bad.
Okay, good.
As for why they didn't raise you themselves, I don't know.
Yeah, that's something I'll have to ask them myself, it seems. Cool. Thank you.
I would like to take a moment to shout out Rishemi's fantastic art I just saw on Twitter.
Well,
Thank you.
and I'll see it after the session.
I'm just saying, so good, love it.
Ooh.
I think Hexia is typing something, so we'll wait and see what she's done typing. Oh wait, I have something here. I'm glad I remembered. As you leave, unless there's anything else you want to talk to her about. Is there anything else you want to talk to her about?
Evelyn just wanted to make sure that we were dealing with real people and not like scam artists. And like Indy would be okay if we wanted to follow up if they were
Yeah, and then for me, I just wanted to make sure that she was doing good and whatnot because we know this isn't exactly where what she wants to be doing. So she's kind of wanted to check up on her and be like, hey, good. If you want to like run away for a second, you can come and visit us or something like that at night or whatever.
She does.
Yeah.
So just like,
To that, she says, "I would love to when I have the time, but I don't know when that'll be."
No worries.
Okay, so, before you leave, she will bid you guys goodbye and thank you for visiting her, and as you part, you do so. She does so with a warning. She says, "My friends, be careful in Waterdeep. The city has changed over the past couple of weeks and months. It's not the same as it was when you left it."
What do you mean?
She says the atmosphere is different. There is more unrest in the streets, a general feeling of uneasiness. I'm sure you've noticed those crazed individuals on the streets.
Telling me about it.
And while such well-traveled and educated individuals such as yourselves may not pay much mind to their ramblings, they are having an effect on the less fortunate, shall we say.
Yeah. Sounds like a problem.
Which individuals were these?
The crazy, wacky and weird cultist-ish people.
Oh, right.
And with that, she bids you adieu, and she does ask you to partake in a drink or food you want to before you leave, but she says, "I have a lot of duties to attend to, so I must leave. But when you're finished, just
thank her for her time
she
and understand that she is incredibly busy, etc., etc.
Yeah, she acknowledges that and she smiles when you say that, but she suppresses it very quickly, and returns to her normal stoic face, and says, "Yes. Well, if you require assistance or if you would like to leave and go about your day, just inform one of the butlers or maids and they will show you out." And then she curtsies and leaves the room. So there are snacks here and drinks. If you want to eat them, you can, or you can just leave and do whatever you want.
Heck yeah, I'll eat them.
I'll check them for poison.
Do you have detect poison?
No.
It would be
Dude,
very
but I
difficult
gotta
without
waste
an
a
alchemist
spell.
kit.
I was like, I don't think I have it prepared.
It'd be very difficult without an alchemist kit or a
Just let
herbalism
it
kit.
eat one first. Let's see how it goes.
I obviate the snacks and give them the stink eye.
Does it require you to have a brain, or is it a creature? I don't
Are
think a
there
snack
any
counts as a creature.
specialist are there any baked goods?
There are plenty of baked goods. There are what's it called?
Are there any baked bads?
There are light and fluffy like cakes here. There are cookies, macaroons, eclairs. There are what is it called? Cheesecakes. There is a lot of stuff.
Dang, they pulled out all the stuff.
I would need a what kind of cake did you say?
Like very light,
Mhm.
like not filling ones. It's like, because it's a midday, pretty much. So it's not like all you're gonna be eating the rest of the day. So they're like light and airy cakes. Things
think I do
to
have
sate your appetite until your next meal.
I think I get alchemist kit as part of being a obviator. I think.
All right, you can test these cakes if you want. Just put them in there and grind them up.
Thanks for your hospitality.
But not with that. Not with that roll. The butler, suited gentleman behind you raises a questioning eyebrow, as you put all this stuff. You start testing this stuff, and then you're like, just give a shrug after.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I think it's fine if it's definitely poisoned.
Yeah, this is poison. No one eat any of this. Get it out of your mouth.
In the middle of tasting pastries.
Yeah,
Get it
that
caught.
just looks over, just like half a cheesecake gone. Huh?
Yep.
Well, some of
Gotta
you are
give you the
resistant.
Heimlich.
Some of you are resistant or immune to the poison condition.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I am just gonna eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Only if it
I'm
does
like,
poison
okay, I'll be-
damage am I good.
Oh, okay.
Dear God.
Okay, seriously.
Nate,
Seriously.
Joe and I were wondering, we wanted to ask what our favorite pastries were and what our favorite bakeries in Waterdeep were.
Oh,
Or she has a favorite baker, or like
Yeah,
a preferred whatever. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. So
Yeah.
she would have said to you,
Trace the poison, do
we
it
have
first.
all of our stuff is serviced through the guild master. I believe his name is Mr. Baranzar. I'm not
Is that
sure.
the one we talked to?
Yes. I'm not sure of the specifics. You'll have to ask him.
Good God, it's a conspiracy. This goes all the way to
Well,
the top.
I don't order them. My parents do.
It goes all the way to the top.
All the way to the top of the Baker's Guild.
I mean, learning how we source our baked goods is quite low on the list of priorities that I will learn it eventually, but it is quite low on the list of priorities I need to learn to be the next head of the Rajnar family.
That is true. Speaking of getting food, buy a break.
Yeah, we can have a quick
Yeah,
one.
let's take 5.
So the
Seems
only
like a
way I
good
know
place
of
to
currently because even if I leave my TV or my monitor on, if I turn it off or if I mute it, whatever you say will still come through, I think, on how they're having the recording set up. So just don't mention. On my end, it will be completely muted and you won't hear anything. But if you say anything over Discord, make sure it will pick it up. So, to let you know.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Go get some water. Maybe go to the bathroom.
And I'm back, everyone.
I'm here.
So just make myself a milkshake. You know.
I turned down a milkshake earlier today.
You know how we
Dang
do.
it. You should have consumed it for me.
It was like ice cream with bananas and strawberries, and I don't like bananas.
Oh. And I got to mute because I'm going to start the blender. Unless you want to listen to that, but I don't think you do.
My stream is briefly turning into one of those Korean eat shows because I'm just eating peanut M&Ms.
There's nothing wrong with peanut M&Ms. I'm thinking about getting an ice cream sandwich.
Peanut M&Ms are good, honestly.
I didn't like them until I started eating them this year.
That was
They
me
grew
too.
on me.
I never had them. I just had the milk chocolate. I'm like, gross. Why would I want peanut M&Ms?
Mhm.
They're disgusting. And I finally tried them. Like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. And I can't eat normal M&Ms anymore.
Well, what it was is that they're not in. I'm at partner's house, so like there aren't regular M&Ms here, just the peanut ones. And so like I was desperate for chocolate one day, so I took what I could get.
Caxi, are you back?
And I am hungry. So I've been playing Children of Morta. Oh, so good.
Sorry.
What type of your milkshake tonight?
Huh?
What kind of milkshake is it tonight?
Standard one I always make. It's standard vanilla with instant breakfast like protein mix. Carnation instant breakfast protein mix. Dang, this is thick. Jesus,
Well-
it's not coming out of the blender. Oh, there we go. Oh no.
Do you have a long weekend?
I have a 4-day weekend.
That's exciting. I'm very excited for you.
Yeah, except the issue is it's like just doing tech crew.
What's the show?
The Old Man and the Old Moon.
I've never heard of it.
Never have I.
It's a play?
It's a musical. We do plays in the fall. The one in the fall that we did was 26 Pebbles, which was about the Sandy Hook shooting, which sucked.
Wow, that's. I mean, to ask
This
high
is
school
not,
students.
Like, this is obscure musical.
To ask high school students to do a play about a school shooting is kind of rough.
Yeah, well, we did one last year about like sort of like the Scarlet Letter, but like in modern times.
I don't know if
Like
that would.
the
It would have to be something different. That wouldn't transition well to modern times because no one cares about what she did anymore.
No, it's like her nudes get leaked and whatever.
Oh, okay. I was like, ooh, you had sex with a man out of wedlock and got pregnant. Ooh, no.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys get the
And
casting?
her name's literally Scarlet. Like,
I'm sorry, you were saying something?
I was wondering if I pulled up the licensing for the show to see how much it cost because it was an off Broadway, but like so like additional books for everybody, cast script, vocal, piano, connector are $25 each. The pack is $100 for piano connector, director, vocal book, etc. Just looking at things cost. Interesting though.
the theater program is well funded here.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, which is why I'm amused at what they're doing for the show.
This is not the right Ron.
Because this license isn't that expensive. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe this is it.
But like, it's an interesting story. Like that's.
I'm just saying they chose a cheap show to put on. It's not a bad thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. The one with Rosie and Walnut.
So good.
What is that?
Muling Cax, you're fantastic art.
Oh, yeah. Everything okay, Cax?
They just can't talk apparently.
Oh, I meant that.
Oh. I didn't realize. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize I was unmuted. I just can't open Twitter right now. It's being weird.
I'm just saying it's delightful and I love it. I love Walnut's face. It's my favorite part. It's just like I'm so over this.
It's supposed to be before the entire all of Red Larch is covered in trees or whatever.
Or maybe they're on the long road. Like, who knows? I just appreciate it.
Telling stories.
I wish I could draw. It's one thing I wish I could do.
I think anyone can end up doing it.
No.
Takes fucking
Terrible.
forever.
Okay, can you answer me now?
I have other talents. I'm very good at talking and good with people.
Hannah, you can draw. You do good
Yeah,
art.
you've drawn before. I've seen it.
Yes,
I'm
you've done a good
sorry.
job. It's not bad. It's not shitty.
Oh my gosh. Your bow cosplay is incredible. Also, you need to
Yes.
do Keyleth. Please do Keyleth.
No, you gotta do Keyget.
Take your time.
She has a list. It's like 20 people or something.
It's like
is
27.
insane.
Okay.
Oh no, I'll snag the link. Hold on.
Also, our mutual friend on the Twitter should cosplay Beth.
Ooh, Hannah? Not our Hannah. Different
Yes.
Hannah CR1 who constantly talks about Percy.
I don't know if it's. Oh, okay, yeah, Ash. Is Caxer on that list?
It better be.
Caxer isn't on that list. Mercy and Ash are on there.
No, I feel uncomfortable doing her as much as I want to. I feel
yeah,
really
'cause it's
uncomfortable doing it because
I mean,
Like the
white.
horns or like.
let's be fair. Let me put it this way. I cosplayed Girl with Honey at PAX, who's now a Daisy character.
No, I mean just like I'm not comfortable cosplaying
Black.
her because I'm white.
I mean,
Like,
to be fair, I
I'll
don't
probably
think
end up
anyone's
making her stuff at some
skin
point, but
pigmentation is
No,
demonic
no.
red.
It's
So-
your OC.
I know, but I still feel weird doing
It's
it.
your
it's
OC.
Listen,
I know.
like guys, it's a little. Hannah's right. It's a little.
Like
iffy
I could
to
I
do
could do
that.
it fine. No, it's like I could do it as long as I like did it right, but like I'd still feel uncomfortable doing it because knowing I'm not.
Like,
portraying
Anna
her
gave
as
herself
she is
golden
in the-
skin when she cosplayed as Evelyn.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not like that's doing
That's
it
not-
because there's a difference
There's a
between doing
difference
that
between
and like
having golden skin and like. Yeah.
I'm not
doing,
saying
like,
you need
yeah.
to paint yourself in body paint. I'm saying
Oh,
that you
I
can
know.
create an outfit for
I'm
cats that
probably
you can
going-
wear.
I almost wore casual cack to Unplugged because I have a leather jacket that fits her really well. But hold on. Yeah,
So
that's
using
the,
my absurdly
that's
shadow
the full
clothing.
list. Let me send you the Keyleth art because I'm absolutely in love with it.
Look, you know how I feel about Keyleth.
You know how I feel like.
We will have a Keyleth discussion soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we have a channel
I'm
for that
so
if you want,
happy
or you can
with
DM whatever you want. We have.
I'll send you the rest
Remind
of the
me.
photos later.
Send me photos later. Talk to me when we're done here. I want to talk to you about something, but not while we're live.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's get back to it. You guys have you have snacked on. Some of you have snacked on. Some of you have
I have
abstained.
no snacks, but I will get one later.
Some of you have
It's okay.
abstained from the snacks that Lady Esbela Rajnar has prepared for you, or rather, her people, so to speak, have prepared for you.
We
and you
just
have,
want to know which baker's the best.
and you have left. It might. You can always inquire at the Master Baker's Hall.
Okay, I'm back.
But you guys have, some of you have partaken, some of you have abstained. You have now left the Rajnar estate. You are now back on Thunderstaff Way, if I'm reading that correctly.
Ba-boom.
All right. Let's go get your inheritance. We think just like gold. What if you get property?
What if your inheritance is death?
So you have
Can
chosen
we
death.
legally oppose you at that point?
Wait, what did you
I
say?
think we can. What if the inheritance is death?
Death.
Oh, we
Death.
know that.
Yeah, got her with.
Legitimate question.
Well, you won't know until you go.
That's true.
inheritance.
But yeah,
This
I think
sword in
we're
your
on our way
stomach.
there, right?
I love that cosplay. It's very good.
All right, and so if there are no qualms, no detours,
no.
nothing else, you guys head to the Emmerich estate. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, let's
All right.
go.
So you're getting there around 11 a.m. And it is on. It's estate. It's sort of land, the size of the mansion. It's sort of on par with the Rajnar families that you were just at. Maybe if someone was more well off as in their background, they'd be able to tell a difference. But for you all, you can't really tell any difference other than like color schemes and types of materials used and stuff like that. And you, Indy presents himself at the gates. There are guards there, of course, as well. Some of them seem a bit uneasy that all these well-armed and slightly dirty individuals have come up and come up to
I am not slightly
the
dirty.
I
You're
didn't mention
extremely-
you. I did not mention. I said individuals. You may or may not be included in that. Some of you are. Some of you aren't.
None of us are strict.
And you and they ask you what your business is with the Emmerich family, and if you have none, could you please vacate the premises and stop blocking the entryway.
So, hi, I'm Indy. Apparently, though, my real name is Aaron. So I'm here to pick up my father's inheritance, apparently, for the reading of the will.
They give each other some sideways glances and say, "Can you present a certain item?"
I hand him a letter.
Okay. They read it over and hand it back to you. Stand up a little straighter. And roll their shoulders and sort of like, come to a little bit a higher attention, so to speak, and say, they say, "Master Aaron, forgive us for not recognizing you. Please, come inside, and will your associates be accompanying you?"
Of course.
I see. And they open the gate and let you guys inside.
So like that scene in Knives Out, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone because you all should see it because it's a good movie.
I
yeah.
saw it last night. So good.
And a very well-dressed, impeccably dressed, some might even say, older gentleman comes over to you and almost glides over to you and says, "Greetings,
Classic.
Master Aaron and friends. My name is Walter, and I am a butler for the Emmerich household. I'll be taking care of you while you are visiting.
Thank you.
While we have prepared a room for Master Aaron, we were not informed that he would be bringing friends along with him. I can prepare some rooms for them if you would like to stay the night or several, although it might take some time. Would you like refreshments? It is getting close to lunchtime, and we can prepare lunch for you as well if you are feeling a bit peckish. Now that you are here, we will call the lawyer and read the will, although it will take some time for him to get here."
I think we already ate, but yeah, he also gives. Don't not
You can insight check if you want.
He feels like Trent. So yeah, insight check. That's cocked. Hold on. That's a 14 plus insight plus 3, so that is a 17.
You think
Hey, there's a dice up.
you are not well versed in, noble / servant etiquette, but this person, maybe it's how he's deferring to you and speaking to you in calm and polite tones is what's putting you off, but he doesn't seem to be harboring any ill will towards you, or he's not trying to deceive you or anything like that.
Okay.
I
Fine.
got a 21. I don't know if that's the same or not.
You get a little bit more in 1 second.
Do you want me to take off my headphones or something? Like do a whisper thing?
No, it's she can choose with the party if she chooses to, but you think that he is. You get a little bit more. He is unnerved by the presence of 2 tieflings in the estate.
Cool. Love that.
But he is doing his best to show it. To not show it. Sorry, to not show it.
Yeah, I hope not.
It's very, very well hidden, but you can tell because he occasionally glances in your direction, Caxier.
Are we just in the entryway? Like, where are we in
You have entered, as soon as you sort of stepped into the estate, you're on the lawn, so to speak, is when this butler came over to you. Like right away, almost right away with like actually entering the grounds.
What I want to know is I just kind of want to like look at the house.
All right, what in particular are you?
I want to look at the house.
Okay, you want me to just
There's not a particular.
describe
I
it
just
to
gotta
you?
like. No, I want to like look, examine. Like, is the house fishy? Is it?
Does it smell like fish? Did someone microwave some bad food earlier?
Thank you for understanding, Indy.
Well,
no, like where are the windows, where are the doors, what might open, what might not.
there are
like-
plenty of windows here.
I want to look at this house like it's a crime scene.
Okay, like you're trying to look for exits and entrances to the
Yeah,
house.
I just kind of want to. Evelyn wants to know, in case shit goes down for Indy's sake,
how to get out.
How to get out? Like,
yeah.
All right, so there. This house looks to be it's not a castle or keep by any means. They're mainly trusting in, the city guard, their personal guard, and their sort of prestige as a noble family to protect them. As such, there are a plethora of wide and large windows on the first floor, kind of like bay windows that look out into the garden and stuff like that. The second floor doesn't have, extravagant windows like those, but there are enough of them to sort of that you can use as escape routes. They're large enough to use as escape routes if you need to, by either throwing a chair or other furniture or yourselves through them.
The lawn look well kept.
It's not Pilgrim time.
Is there ivy on the house? Is the paint peeling off the door?
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff too.
It is up to standards of noble appearances. The lawn is well maintained and kept. There's a small greenhouse where you can see some, maybe like some flowers inside, so they can,
security cameras,
not those. You don't detect. I don't think you've used detect magic or arcana checks. You don't gain a sense of magic happenings. But you do see some guards, patrolling the grounds outside of the ones that you just met at the gate. You see a little guardhouse and probably a barracks for them off in the corner as well. That there's no peeling paint, It's a well-maintained lawn. I forgot if there's anything else you asked for.
No, I didn't. That's dumb. Never mind.
And yeah, what do you guys do from now? Walter is looking at you expectantly for a response, Master Aaron, as he calls you.
Is this something that we can reasonably expect will take a couple days?
I mean, I'd assume so.
He did say
Wait,
that they
it
will
would
call
take a
the
couple of
lawyer.
days for the lawyer?
He did
I don't think it take.
So the information you have is he did say that they will, now that you're here, they will call the lawyer and that he will be present within the day to read the will.
Okay.
He has said, in case you wish to stay, they have prepared a room for you. Indy. Just you. They didn't know you're bringing your party members, so they will prepare rooms for them as well, but it may take some time. But you get the idea, the feeling that they would get those done within the day. It's time too. So you can sleep here tonight if you so choose.
I say we should. It seems to me that to get a good feel for this family and for the house and all this stuff, it'd probably be a good idea to stay the night at the very least.
Then we're staying.
And then
Cool.
he says, "Oh, well, she says, Lady Ada, your mother will be delighted. Do you wish to present yourself to her and your brother Hans at this time?"
I was gonna ask if there's anybody else here for the inheritance, like siblings.
Lady Ada?
There is.
Yes, he mentioned Ada, who is your mother, and Hans, who is your brother.
Hans.
If you haven't
Is your real
noticed,
name
I'm
Franz?
going for a Germanic theme.
I bet he looks like a Hans.
What does someone that looks like a Hans look like?
Have you seen Frozen? That's what Hans looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the only
You know
Hans
a
I know.
Hans when you see one.
Yeah, they've
Sorry.
just got.
It's true.
They just have. Yeah. They're
I have not
meanies.
seen Frozen 2, so I don't know how he acts.
I
in that.
haven't either.
He was okay in
Was it
Frozen
good?
1.
Anybody?
I liked it better than Frozen 1. I think the music was better, but it also is really, really heavy and a lot packed into one movie.
Can it beat Let It Go, though? Like, that's like...
There are better songs, yes.
Why?
Dang. Into the
I
unknown?
would claim.
Did Hans not die?
No. Let me just say there's a 90s power ballad.
What? You have 3 cosplays lined up for it? Jesus.
Yeah, I saw Elsa from that. I'm assuming Anna is there, too.
So.
Alright, so what do you guys
Let's
want to
stay.
do? He says, should I announce you to the lady of the house and your brother?
Oh, you should.
They are having
Yes, we can.
lunch at this time. You can join them if you would like.
I'll whisper to Indy.
Sure.
We should check for poison.
Will your
No.
friends be accompanying you to lunch as well, Master?
Yes, they will. I will just cast prestidigitation just nonstop on me, everyone, just everything, just clean
Now, Master Aaron,
everyone.
I am aware of your circumstances, shall we say.
I'm not poor.
Have you been informed in the proper dining etiquette?
Shouting, I'm not poor is something rich people do all the time.
He says, he looks at your clothes and says, yes, quite so. Is that you say,
I'm
Master
not
Aaron?
poor. You're poor.
You look at your clothes, and his clothes with the thread count is over 9,000, and you're like, oh, okay.
I
Whose
hate
sport?
I
Did you say
pressed to
that?
digitize his clothes. How does it feel?
Now you can only make a small mark on his clothes or clean them. I don't think you need minor
So-
I'm gonna
illusion.
clean them.
You need minor illusion to make yourself
No,
look like him.
I'd clean them.
His clothes are immaculate. There's nothing to clean.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sounds unsafe.
I'm gonna piss your pants.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think a couple of people will get that.
So do you want his
Yeah.
prestidigitation to make a stain on his trousers
Yeah.
in an unfortunate
I'm
spot?
gonna now, but I want it to happen discreetly.
All right.
It's verbal and somatic. Just gonna let you know.
Dang it. Well, I'm gonna wait until he turns around then.
Yeah, you will need a sleight of hand check to do this.
Boy,
Aiden
howdy.
just looks at Indy, knowing he's gonna do something stupid, and
I
gives him a
cover him.
glare that says,
Can I
"Don't
give him
do this."
advantage? Can I give him advantage? I want to help.
Yeah.
Do you try to
help
distract
me?
the butler in any way?
I want to like every time he was looking at me, I want to kind of give him like a
He's
glare.
Wait,
he's
I mean,
walking
Nat
you
did actually
to.
have a question.
He's walking to the dining
So-
room and he's explaining the finer points of fancy dining to you. Like, this is how you hold. This is what fork you use for this. This is how you hold the fork. This is where you place the fork when you're done using it. This is where
Could you stop mansplaining my friend?
And he's like, this is where you hold your napkin. This is where you put your napkin when you're not using it. This is how you indicate you're done with the course.
If you say that,
Oh no, she says it, but she says
okay,
it.
so then I'm gonna use the opportunity to cast a spell. Side hand check.
Wait,
That is
can I
a
make one
13 plus 7, so a unnatural 20.
Okay. There are a lot of things that a lot of people want to do at the same time. So Indy is casting prestidigitation to make it look like this butler, Walter,
Piss his pants.
has peed his pants. What would Caxier like to do?
So this was kind of like helping him.
If you mess up the, I'm
Actually,
sorry,
no.
go ahead.
This will wait until we're actually sitting down. Alright, I'll wait until we're sitting down.
Well, he did say he was doing it while you were walking.
Yeah,
As
so
soon as
I'll
he turned
just
his
wait
back.
until we sit down. Because I wanted to point out that I have a coyote with me. I feel like, hey, can you get something to eat? I don't want him to be like
He
that.
when you mentioned that, he turns around and looks down. Oh, sorry, I wasn't speaking. So when you mentioned that, he
I want to do it when we're sitting down.
he turns around and looks down at your coyote and says,
And I just bare my fingers.
"We have a kennel for such creatures."
I get my to bear his fangs at him. I said, it's fine. He can stay with me.
Do keep your pet under control. And he goes, "Oh." And then he looks at you, Indy, and says, "How uncouth." And then he just snaps his fingers and says, "Out, damned spot." And it goes away.
Dang it.
Yeah, high passive.
Yeah.
He also looked down and saw his trousers were still looking at your coyote.
I mean, I don't look directly down whenever I mean,
I
I'm
didn't
standing
think
like
you
right
had
in
a
front of
coyote right now.
He was looking for this creature that you
No.
mentioned.
I don't have enough money or incense to turn him into an otter right now.
Oh.
He's still a coyote. He's been a coyote for a little while. Last fight, he was a coyote with a kid.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
So I do want to ask him, like, are there any other children of this person,
Yes. Do you
or
want to do
is
The late Lord Frederick and Lady Ada were blessed with 2 children. One, of course, you are familiar with,
Obviously not blessed enough.
Aaron, and the second, who I do not believe you are acquainted with, is Lord Hans. Lord Aaron, I would ask that you refrain from such antics when you're in the presence of your mother and brother. They may not take such. They may not be as accommodating as I am in regards to such things.
But you're not being accommodating. You're being a smug asshat.
Should I have all of
Please tell me she
you
says that.
thrown out then
You
for
won't do
magically
that.
assaulting a citizen of
I
Waterdeep?
cannot believe I am the one that's having to say this. But Evelyn, please, let's try and make a good impression.
It's
I raised an eyebrow at that.
I tried to stop you from doing something stupid, first of all. Second of all,
That's the best part.
he's talking to a member of a family, but he's talking to you like you're an idiot. And like you're uncultured. And that's just not cool.
Like a fireball.
He's also been giving me.
I did not say that out loud.
Like, and Abeline very much said, don't mansplain Indy in a professional manner.
Oh, so he says,
When she said it.
He says, at that, with
he's been
you,
giving me
Evelyn, he
directives,
says,
too.
I apologize, I was not aware that. I'm somewhat familiar with your, occupation, Master Aaron, so I did not think that you had been properly educated in these matters. My apologies.
You
And
pick
even if
things
he
up on the
hadn't-
road.
And if he hadn't, there's a better way to approach it, is what Evelyn is trying to say.
Yeah. I agree.
Would you like a book, then?
What?
A refresher course would be delightful and
Or I can feed you as you eat, like a child.
Please do not. Have a good day. Don't say that.
Is that a serious option?
Yeah, do that for Rashemi over here. Or who said that?
I think that was Rex.
He says your
Yeah, feed Rex while he eats.
your friends will be excused for their lack of manners.
They will not.
Hold on. Rex probably knows all the manners.
You probably
Rex
do.
Evelyn's a lesser noble.
You would probably know them
She
as
knows.
well.
Cax never.
But
Yeah,
Cax, Rashemi, Indy,
Oh, she doesn't give a shit.
Nat would definitely not know them.
No, but she doesn't care.
I know. He's not doing it for his sake or your sake. He's doing it for the lady of the household's sake.
She doesn't care about him.
Why do we always turn this kind of thing into a shit show?
Because we're
Because
us.
we have some party members who like to cast spells before they do things.
Oh,
And
one of you have also had an inheritance. I'm sorry, did you say that out loud? That was his response to what Rex said.
Oh, no.
And he says, we'll be at the dining room shortly. If just follow me, if you please.
Of course. I'm gonna whisper to Cac. No, I'm not. Never mind. I'm actually thinking things through.
And then you come upon a room that looks to be like a very wooden floor, very well polished, and there's a very gorgeous long table set up with very ornate chairs. This room's walls are mainly comprised of glass and has a very nice view of the lawn and sort of green space there. And you see a older / more middle-aged woman with like an brown hair and an updo, and she's wearing very fine clothing, and she's eating with a knife and fork very delicately. She's at the one end of the table, and next to her on her right-hand side is a young human, both humans by the way, a young man, around late teens, maybe early 20s.
Okay.
And he has blonde hair and blue eyes and very fair skin. And he is also eating in a manner similar to his mother, and they are eating in absolute dead silence. And as you see them before the door is opened because of all the glass. But the door is opened, and Walter says, "May I present?" He says, "May I present?" He clears his throat. "May I present Lord Aaron Emmerich and friends?"
Hi, Mom. Hi,
No.
brother.
And
Never met these people.
the fork falls out of her hand. You get a sideways look from your brother in quotes, but your mom, the fork drops out of her hands, and there's an expression of shock on her face.
It's been a while.
And she immediately stops eating and walks over to you. And she's walking. Evelyn, you would recognize, being a little noble. She's walking in the manner and the gait of nobles, but she's doing it at a much quicker pace. And it's almost like she's trying to maintain her dignity while jogging or power walking.
She's excited.
Yes.
Okay, I make note of that.
And you do
Like-
see as she approaches you, Aaron, you see a little bit of moisture at the edges of her eyes. And she says, "Your father was adamant that this day would come, but I didn't believe him. But it is good to see you again, my son." And she is going for the hug, if you will allow it. You can rebuff her, of course. She's not, trying to engage in a athletics strength / grapple check with you.
aggressive grapple. I'm not sure if
You can just stiff board it and just be like, there's a lot of things you can do here. You can pull back, you can push, you can stiff armor, you can just go rigid.
I cast Hellish Rebuke.
Well, she's not damaging you in any way, so it won't work.
You murder your mom.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
No. Of course not. I'm just gonna stiff board her because, I don't know you.
And so when she hugs, she gives you a light hug, but she steps back when she notices you're not. You're just, says, "Oh, of course, that reaction is to be expected. You don't know who I am."
Yeah. No. I've got some questions.
Of course. Are you hungry? Do you need something to eat?
No, we just ate at a friend's place.
Oh, okay. She says, "Hans, would you like to join your brother and I as we talk?" And he says, "No, I'm good."
Womp.
Kind of dismissively.
Does
Uh-huh.
he?
Insight
She-
check.
Sighs.
Yeah, I just want to see, does he even seem interested, or does he seem like
Me
he's
too.
turned back to his food?
Insight checks.
Okay.
That's exactly where I was. Would you like to do that, Nat?
Indy's preoccupied. He's not necessarily thinking about
Yeah, I
that.
have a plus. Yeah, 21.
All right, insight check. He's trying to play it cool and dismissive, but you can tell there's a little bit of a undercurrent of anger there.
I was gonna keep an eye on him.
You surmise with that it looks like previously he was the only known son of a noble family. And so
Is
that
his race a
means
human?
that, yes, they're both human. That means he would have got a lot of money.
Now he's getting half of it.
And now he's only getting
That is-
half. Yes.
Oh no, poor you.
So that may be why his anger is, in his mind, justified.
This is definitely very Knives Out.
Basically, who's this random person who my father claims is his son, who doesn't even share the same race as him, and comes in and is stealing half of my inheritance?
Knives Out, Knives Out.
Is that what Knives Out is about? I literally am.
Wait,
We don't
is
want to
this-
spoil Knives Out for you because it's
I'm
so
not
good.
gonna
You
watch
should
it.
watch it.
Oh, wait,
Okay,
I
well,
am.
I'll spoil it for you later.
I've convinced
How old is he?
Perception
about
check.
my age.
Perception check.
Okay. That's up my hand. Natural 20.
Oh,
Yes.
So you get a
It's
lot of stuff
happening
here.
again.
You look
It's
at Indy.
happening.
You look at, or sorry, Aaron. You look at Aaron. You look at
How
Indy.
old
You
is
look at
he?
Aaron. You look at Indy. And other than the obvious tiefling traits, pointed ears, tail, curly horns, they are almost one for one. And pigmentation, of course. But like facial features, cheekbones,
Okay.
nose, eye colors obviously different, but shape of the eyes, mouth, chin.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
they're almost like
So-
they're identical twins. And as such,
I have no-
their age is this probably you would reasonably guess the exact same.
Oh, I thought he was like a lot younger. Okay. Oh, okay. That's
No, this level,
Mhm.
even if they're siblings, there's some variation here. This resemblance is uncanny. Like they're
okay.
So twins.
they're
Oh, shit.
twins, identical twins.
I'm having like a
Fun
idea
fact,
they're
all of
big.
my best friends have been.
What?
There was nothing. It's,
You cut out there.
All my
I'm
best
guessing
friends
he said
have been,
twins.
and then just silence.
Ever since I,
I'm
ever
sorry.
since I was a little kid, all of my best friends have been twins.
That's weird.
That's weird.
But
Jinx.
not like my current best friend. Like, it's a boy and a girl. I'm friends with him. I'm not friends.
So, fun fact: my next door neighbors, they're twins. My neighbors behind me, also twins. Another pair of neighbors, also twins.
It
That
was
is a high
destined
concentration.
that Indy would be a twin.
My younger siblings are twins.
I'm an only
Identical.
child.
My cousins are also
Maybe they're
twins.
Maybe they're more common than I.
I only knew
They're
one
really
pair growing up.
They're not that common. It's just like
I
something.
know 2 pairs of identical twins. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh wait, and
I'm just gonna
some
kind of like
there's-
shoot
Yeah,
Indy a
yeah,
look.
we
It's
can
like, do you
back
want
in.
us to be here while you're probably gonna be doing some catching up? You know? Yeah, this is gonna get personal.
Yeah, I think if we're having a more serious personal discussion, I think I'd rather have you guys not here, but I want you guys there for the will reading.
Okay. Can I like screech up to him and whisper in his ear, do you want my there so we at least have an idea? Like I won't listen, I'll just watch. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
something happens.
Now,
Okay.
in this room of glass, if Maik is attempting to hide here, it would be
Oh,
very
no.
difficult.
Oh no, he's not hiding. He's just
Okay.
doing
Yeah, no, I'll pick him up like a dog.
I tell him to act nice.
Act like a dog, please. Please.
Yep.
So, he just starts opening his mouth, tongue out, and panting, and just looks at you with a dumb grin on his face.
Just charm your brother.
No, this is Maid doing this, not Hans. Hans
Yeah,
is
no.
continuing to eat in silence.
Why did you think you thought we charmed Hans to act like a dog?
No, I can do that. I have that spell now.
I have one person on me. I prepared it instead of haste today. But yeah,
Nice.
I'm sending my in, and I'm gonna walk up to Aelin, put my hand on her arm, and just kind of say, I'm gonna go into my mode and just look through his eyes, but not actually hear anything or anything. I don't want to like control him or anything. I just want to get my him, make sure he's okay. If that makes sense.
So yeah, I'll talk with my mom in like another room, I guess.
Yeah, she leads you to a different room in offshoot. This one is in like an interior room of the house. There's no windows here, but it is, it looks to be sort of study. And they're very
Okay.
comfortable, like thick um, recliners is the word I was looking for.
Is there dust anywhere?
There's no dust in this room. It looks to be very clean. There is, there's a bookcase in there. There's desk. There's desk. There is a desk, and it looks like like a stereotypical study. There's, but maybe not. If they have a library, this is probably adjacent to this room.
It's library adjacent.
And she offers you a seat, and she says, "Well, this is quiet enough, I suppose." And there's enough seating. There's enough seating for all of you as well. And she sits opposite you, Indy. And she is, of course, at this time, she has dabbed the corner of her eyes with her hand, and she says, "Aaron, or would you prefer independence?"
Indy.
Indy. Okay. I imagine you have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I do.
Me. I may not be able to answer them all. Your father did have his secrets, after all, but I will answer what I can.
I guess you can probably guess what my first question is. Why?
And she takes a deep breath and she says, "Yes, I have been thinking about this for a long time. It was, and she says it was the stigma of raising a tiefling child. When we were, told we were blessed with twins, your father and I, celebrated. We were beside ourselves with happiness. And then when I went into labor, and the midwives came, and there was and what's your your skin coloration, Indy?
Well, he's more just tanned. Like, it's not
Okay.
necessarily like a super like funky color like red or blue or green or yellow or pink. It's just sort of like a typically darker skin tone than someone who would stay inside all day. Like, it's just sort of like it's still got a tint of perhaps like a little something that's not quite human.
When your horned head came out, your father,
that must have been painful.
She says it was not entirely pleasant. Luckily, we were able to afford the services of a healer. But when you came out first and your father saw your horned head, he was quite distraught and even angry. Trying to figure out how we had been cursed is the word he used.
Hey, now.
With such a child. And unable to bear the shame of it.
Cursed with good looks, more like.
Well, you do look a lot like your brother, Hans. He convinced me to give you up for adoption, or to an orphanage. Is what I call the Happy Hands, what I called it, I think, or Happy Hearts. I call it Happy Hearts. The Happy Hearts Orphanage.
Yikes.
And so we left you on their doorstep in the Southern Ward. or rather, servants of ours did.
So you couldn't be bothered to do it yourself. That makes sense.
Well, Frederick told me he would take care of it. I still had a child to look after.
I guess so. I mean, it's
You
just hard for me to reconcile the fact that you're so happy to see me, yet you never tried to find me before now.
Oh,
Before
but we did. We did. She says,
you never made yourself known to
a
me.
few years ago, your father began to express regret about his decision to leave you at the orphanage, and he began to search for you. And well, the Sword Coast and Faerun is quite a large place, and you were no longer at the orphanage, of course. So we hired the services of a private investigator, several in fact, but one was successful in eventually tracking you down. It was quite difficult because of your profession and your penchant for moving around a lot, but once you sort of settled down in the city of Tribor, we were able to find you. And then he was, well, quite a lot of time had been passed, and of course he knew you probably wouldn't forgive him for what he did to you, so he was thinking of
You'd
a
be
way
right.
he might approach you when he passed.
Killing himself, dying. Sorry, dying. Not. Sorry, that was a misspeak on my part.
Yeah, she does look horrified when you say killed himself.
Sorry, no. I want to be clear. I did not say I completely misspoke there. That was not in character at all. I'm sorry.
Okay. He says,
Either way, Rex is going to come up and just kind of stand with you.
This isn't a separate room, though.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
you guys can be in here too. They're seeing here for your friends as
No,
well.
no.
You would not be left.
That's why I did that.
You are part of Indy's party, so you go with him. Like, they're not gonna let you just roam the grounds freely.
I specifically said though, like I wanted to by myself.
Oh, then you'll be
like,
right outside the door.
why
Then
my
you'll be right outside the
way.
door, probably in the library. But you wouldn't. Someone would be watching you. You wouldn't just be walking around the estate.
Yeah, that's why I said the thing about money.
Yeah. So why? It's just confusing sometimes. It's still strange to me that he seemed to not. He seemed to really only care about me once I'd become of age. He, you know.
Well, like I said, your father was quite a secretive man, and he did not disclose to me why why he changed his mind all of a sudden. I can only tell you that towards the end of his life, he was desperate to find you.
Why so desperate? Why? That's the thing I can't understand. He never cared about me until a couple of years ago.
She looks.
So why would my father?
She looks around, mainly towards the room where your friends are at. There's no one else in the room besides you two, and Mai, of course. But she gets a little closer to you, and she whispers to you. So she's quite close to you now because she sort of sat forward to get close to you. And she says, "Your father." And I'm going to whisper, and let me know if you can't hear it over your headphones or mic or whatever. Your father became increasingly erratic during the final days of his life, almost frantic in searching for you. He didn't die. He died. He passed under mysterious circumstances. He was the picture of health. He was not ill. I think he knew someone was trying to kill him, and he was trying to make things right before they succeeded.
Why?
And she sat back when you say why. And when that's a questioning like look when you say why. Because there's a lot of things you could ask why about. You'll have to be specific.
I mean, why would somebody try to kill him? Why?
He says,
What?
she whispers close to you again. She says, "What? I'm not certain, but I suspect that your father often left the house at night to attend meetings with other nobles. And I suspect he was accosted by the Black Viper along the way, who did something to him with magic or a substance that caused him to pass."
You know, that's the funny thing.
That the Black Viper is the scourge of nobles everywhere. In Waterdeep, you know. Horrible individual.
She's not so bad.
She. As a she with a question mark.
And I will get up and I will say, "Let me know when the lawyer is here. I've heard everything I think I need to know." And I get up and I walk away.
She says, Will you not look into it then? I know it is a lot to ask of you, of course.
Why would I care for somebody? Why would I look for somebody? I'll think about it. I can tell you right now, it was not the Black Viper.
She does look very sad, of course, when you say no, which is, of course, that's to be expected. Of course. I know someone is behind this. I just want to know who killed my husband. And I thought, you being an adventurer, you'd be well suited in a cousin sort of thing. Thank you, Aaron.
This is
Indy.
still his mom, right?
Yes, this is still his mom.
Okay.
Here's sort of like, you can understand why
I know.
would act this
You
way.
don't have to. You can always say no. You can always say no.
I get it. No. This is legitimately something I want to think about.
Yeah, she will be understanding either way because, like you said, you know, she's trying to be a good mom to make up for. That's the vibe you get, but by the way.
Yeah, I get it.
And after you're done talking, you leave. She straightens herself up, make sure everything's in place and in order, and walks out with you.
Okay, and that might be a good place to call
That
it.
will be a good stopping point. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you players for playing. Tune in next week when we witness the reading of Indy's father's will and see what he left Indy,
Get that
Get all the
cash
money.
if anything. No, there definitely is something.
That's
Okay.
money.
I leave you my book of devil rituals.
And I will stop recording there.
I
But we can
leave you
talk
the
afterward.
contract that I